Winning the War in Your Mind. I read this book a while back and it really hit home with me, but just finished reading another book and I realized something that I knew all along, yet I was completely oblivious of. Our habits determine who we are, they determine our actions, therefore, they determine our outcomes based on our actions. So, our habits are the thing that drives our life. And for most of us, well, our habits they just kind of naturally happen based on the environment that we're in. And, we live day in day and we create habits, most of them not the best habits. And, it's hard to break out of a habit. It's hard to break out of a habit. Personally, eating habits, it's hard to break out of eating habits. Sleeping habits, it's a really hard one for me that I'm still struggling with is breaking out of that habit of sleeping too much. Breaking out of that habit of it feels good to get back into bed and get warm again and get that extra 30 minutes or an extra hour of sleep. But it's not a good habit. If I get at least 7 hours of sleep, that should be enough. Why do I have to go back and get 8 or 9 sometimes? Because I'm tired. Because I program myself. I'm in the habit of I'm tired. I now have two kids. Well, now I have 3 kids. But when my son came into the picture, that's when I got really tired because he was up every 2 hours getting up for a bottle, and I was constantly waking up alongside my wife, and it was rough. We were running on empty most of the time. We had a 2-year-old, now a newborn, and we were tired. And as they got older, I would put them down and I would fall asleep with them because I was so tired. And sometimes I would sleep 8, 10 hours. I mean, I don't a lot. I would oversleep, and till this day, I'll sleep 8, 9 hours sometimes. And I know better than that. I know I can use that extra hour to get something else done, but my habit of oversleeping gets in my way. And I've tried to break it multiple times, tried different ways, different alarms, putting my phone way over there. I'll still wake up good and turn the alarm off, get back into bed sometimes. But again, habits. I don't want to, that's a whole story I have behind that, but habits, my bad habits, sleeping habits, eating habits, drinking habits, smoking habits, other drug habits, sex habits. Most of our habits are not the greatest. Business habits. What kind of habit do we have when it comes to business? What kind of habit do we have when it comes to our morning habit? What's our morning routine look like? Are we prepared? Are we ready? Do we drink our greens? Or are we ready for the workday? Or do we wake up and react? I can so many times I would wake up and it's just like I'm already running late. I wake up and get dressed. I'm out the door rushing. I'm in traffic, mad at people because people can't drive very well these days. And but again, mad because I'm reacting to my day. I'm reacting to people, and it's just my habit of waking up late, my habit of rushing to places, my habit of always running late to things. And again, what are my habits? How can I change my habits? That's the $1,000,000 question. And again, this book, Winning the War in Your Mind. I strongly suggest this book. Read this book. Powerful book. So I read this book a while back, and I just read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. This is it was probably the first personal development book that I read, and I was already, 20 years old. No, 19. It was right before I met my wife. 19 years old when I first read this book, Think and Grow Rich. I had started with my first multi-level marketing company, and Think and Grow Rich, they suggested it. I read the book. I learned about Napoleon Hill and everything he talks about in the book, and it was eye-opening. It was mind-changing. It opened my eyes to a lot of things I didn't see. But again, this was back 11, 12, almost 13 years ago. I recently ran into another book of Napoleon Hill's, Outwitting the Devil. Now, this book, it's a powerful book if you are able to open up your mind and understand what the book is talking about, what it's saying. And again, this is a liberating book. If you understand it, and it talks about the mind, how we're captive to the mind. We're enslaved by the mind, by the habits that the mind forms, and then just nature kind of carries these habits and they become automatic. And most of these habits it's almost impossible to break out of because it's part of our routine, part of and I want to dive into this, and I try to keep my videos short. And this time around, I'm not gonna worry about the length of my videos. I'm gonna keep talking. I'll pause at times, and then keep going or change the topic. That way, when I go back and edit the video, I can, okay, break it right here and start the next one. Because that's the biggest reason why, honestly, that I don't put a content out there, or a lot of content, is because I don't have the time, and I don't make the time to do all that video editing. Um, I just don't have the time, and I don't like doing it. So I don't make the time. But that's the biggest reason why I don't put a lot of content out, is because I have to go back and edit stuff and cut the beginning, cut the end. I try to keep it simple. Some people will cut in the middle of the video, add another. So I could not do all that editing. I started going live just for the mere fact of, I'd rather go live. That way I don't have to edit anything. But it's harder, because if I go live on Instagram, does it go live on Facebook? What about YouTube? Can I get this video and put it on YouTube? So all of these questions and all of these things, reasons why I can't do it, I don't know how to do it. It's going to be hard to do it. So again, this video is going to be my big launch, if you will. This is going to set me up. I'm going to cut this video into smaller portions. I'm going to stop throughout the video and pull that out, make that into its own video. But again, I want to talk as much as I can, and I want to just download on you. And, it's not good to throw up all over people all this information, because you overwhelm people. And I don't want to do that to you. But at this point in my life, I need to download everything that I know, and I'm putting it down on paper. I have tons. I have stacks and stacks of notebooks and papers and binders and stuff that I've collected over the last 10 years, of courses that I've taken, seminars that I've been through, conferences, all kinds of stuff, you name it. Went from leadership conferences. I've flown out to multiple places. I've taken a bunch of online courses, marriage conferences through our church, a lot of leadership conferences. So I have a lot of information written down on paper and in my head, and a lot of it's in the back of my mind, because I don't use it. I don't apply all of the knowledge that I've been acquiring. But it's time to start downloading. In that book, again, Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill talks about when, the power of a mastermind. That's like the main key he talks about getting. If you're in a rut, if you're in a hard place, if you're trying to figure things out, you just don't know where to go, do you have a mastermind? Do you have one or two or three more people who are working together with you with the same outcome in mind, trying to achieve the same goal, and bouncing ideas off each other and helping support each other, not doing it all by yourself? That's Napoleon Hill. He breaks it down, and he wrote Think and Grow Rich before he wrote Outwitting the Devil. And he gives a story in that book where, after he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, he was at the bottom of the bottom. He went through this experience with one of his business partners. It's just a whole mess where he lived in nothing but fear, and just he was suppressed by his own mind because of fear. And now he talks about how he was able to get out of that, even after he knew all the knowledge that he had. After writing the book Think and Grow Rich, he still was in this place. So, but again, powerful book. I can't recommend it more. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Read it. And if you can't read, you don't like reading, get the audiobook. That's how I did the first time. The audiobook, just listen to the book. It is life-changing. Take notes on it. Apply what you learn. And after you read that book, go and read Think and Grow Rich. Another powerful book. And again, it breaks it all down. A mastermind is one of the core elements, but just having a mastermind is key. And again, I'm ranting a lot here, and I don't want to go off bouncing from place to place, but winning the war in your mind. And this book, I heard about this book a couple years ago. I was flying out to New York for work, and I was reading, the guy I was sitting next to, he was reading this book, and I was reading, I forget the name of the book that I was reading, and we got to talking. He really recommended it. He said, dude, you should look into this book. I'm just finishing it now. Really good book. And I came back from my trip. I bought the book. I did the audio book, and I read it. And it's, again, powerful book that talks about the mind and the war that's going on in our mind, and how the enemy takes over the mind, and fear, worry, anxiety, all the negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative emotions that every human being has. But it talks about the mind, and that's honestly what I want to focus on, is what he talks about, winning the war against our mind. I want to help others and help myself get full control of my mind. Fully control my mind to where it can't lead me to fear, can't lead me to stress, it can't lead me to lust, it can't lead me to all the desires of the flesh. The flesh is corrupt, the mind is corrupt. By nature, human beings, we're selfish, we're greedy, we're egotistical, we're angry, we're not the best when it comes to the flesh. And the flesh, again, when I say the flesh, is the body and the mind. And again, the mind, and then we have the spirit, and then we have God, the Almighty, the Creator, whatever it is you choose to call, to mean God, the Holy Trinity. And then you have the enemy, the devil, goes by many, many names, darkness, whatever you want to call both of these. You have light, darkness, and you have light and darkness. These are the two main, what's the word I'm looking for? This is what is fighting the war. You have good against bad. I've heard a saying about a wolf. Which wolf do you feed the most? You have a good one and a bad one, and the one you feed the most is the one that's going to win the fight. Same thing with this. What do you feed more? Do you feed the good or the bad more? Naturally, the mind is on the bad side. Naturally, the mind is selfish. Selfish is the main thing that drives the mind, is selfish. How can I survive? How can I thrive? How can I do better and be better? But again, the mind is selfish. The spirit, on the other hand, is selfless. It's about loving, it's about giving, it's about sharing, it's about caring, it's about, again, the fruits of the spirit: kindness, gentleness, patience. And then you have the fruit. Well, now I'm going into different conversations, different topics. So again, I don't want to lose myself and go in a million different directions. And when I don't have a paper in front of me, okay, this is what I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about, I'm going to jump around, as you can see, from one thing to another. But, I want to keep it, and I have to stop saying I want to keep this as short as possible, because yes, I do want to keep it short. I don't want to go on for minutes or hours. Some people I follow, some powerful speakers, but some of their stuff is an hour and a half, 2 hours long. And honestly, I don't have 2 hours to watch everything they have to say. And some of these guys, the preachers, pastors, great information, great, powerful speakers. But I don't have the time to watch a 2-hour sermon. I just don't. I love the guys that put out a few minutes of and then put reels and clips. I love reels because I can watch and it hits home. I like it. Inspires, motivate. And that's the biggest one. Motivate, inspire, and what's the other word I'm looking for? Motivate, inspire. God, and I lost the word. So stuff like this, I'll probably cut it out. Boom. And then start again as I keep going. I'm not going to stop the video and then go back and edit. I'm just going to cut things out when I draw a blank. And I'm going to try not to draw blanks. But if I have nothing in front of me, as you can see, my desk is back here. I initially had the camera this way, but there's a huge window over there and there's a lot of light. It's really bright. So if I don't do it early in the morning or in the evening, it's, I've used it as an excuse for a month now. I've been working from home almost 5 weeks now. And I said, okay, I'm going to get on it. I'm going to be shooting videos. I'm going to be recording stuff. And that's one of the biggest excuses and justifications that I have. Well, it's already 9 in the morning and it's already too bright over there. And if I put the camera over here, it's just a huge glare. So today I decided, you know what? No more excuses, no more justifications. I'm going to put the camera on this side. I have a little tripod. I guess my computer's going to be my background for now. But yeah, it's, again, justifications and excuses to why I can't do it, why I don't know how to do it, why it's, it's overwhelming, it's too much. And that's the biggest factor, is that when I get overwhelmed and I have too much to do, I just don't do anything at the end of the day. I just, it's crazy how that works, how just one little thing will throw off my whole day. And because I didn't do the first thing that I had on my schedule, I didn't do most of the rest of my schedule. And it's like, why and how? What did I do with all of this time? The other day I wrote everything down. I had my schedule ready. I'm gonna wake up this boom boom boom. I woke up a little bit late. And just threw off my whole day. I didn't do most of what I had on my schedule. And again, it goes back to habits. But my question was like, dude, where did the time go? And obviously work sucks me in. As soon as I started opening up emails, it's just I get pulled in one direction, then the other, and then the other, and it's just I there's a lot that comes, with work. I mean, and again, I don't want to go down another rabbit hole if I start talking about work and what I do for work and how work just overwhelms me sometimes with the amount of work that I have to do and how I react to my day a lot of mornings. Even working from home, I get on my computer and as soon as I start getting back to emails, I start getting pulled in different directions. I start putting out fires, which is what I do pretty much, put out fires. And next thing you know, it's noon and half the day is gone. And then now I'm just now getting to my workout. I'm just now getting to my morning smoothie that I was supposed to have early in the morning, and it just again my habits, and I react to my life. I react to work. I get up in the morning, I'm rushing out because we have to get the kids out, and I have to get to my email, start getting back to people, and I need to start making phone calls. Luckily, I don't make too many phone calls, but there's phone calls that I have to make throughout the day. Mostly it's all through email, but getting pulled in different directions. And again, as soon as I open up my email, it's like boom, a few hours are gone. And I try to work an hour or two and then take a small little break, but sometimes I have so much to do and so many people that I need to get back to that I don't take my breaks. I don't step back and say, okay, I need to do this. I need to drink my smoothie. I need to do my workout. But again, creating the habits goes back to I'm going back to habits. Now this video is already 16 minutes long. And again, making the time to edit, that's gonna be my biggest one. Going back and watching a 16-minute video and breaking it down. Okay, I can do this, getting reels out of it if I can. But it is time. It is time for me to again download everything that I know and start sharing everything that I know. Start sharing with people. Start helping others that are struggling with the same things that I'm struggling with or that I struggled with. And I'm still going through a lot of struggles right now. And again, controlling my mind is a big one. Controlling my habits. If I have full control of my mind, then I can control my habits. But if I don't have control of my mind, then my habits kind of run me. And I try to change little habits, but they're kind of automatic. And I fail and fail and fail time and time again. And all I feel is discouraged and disappointed in myself. And and then I constantly run on these thoughts and emotions of disappointment and discouragement because I've tried and I've said for so long that I'm going to do this, that I'm going to change this. And, I've said it to my wife and I just don't change it. I've said it to myself many a times and I don't change it. And I'm so disappointed with myself that's kind of like the voice in my head of disappointment, of discouragement, of, yeah, you said that before and you haven't done it. So yeah, I'll believe you when I see it kind of thing. And again, but controlling my mind. And I say I have control. I have control over most of my part of my mind. I can say that because, fear doesn't really run me. I'm not a worry person that I'm always worried and constantly worried. I'm not. I'm a very mellow person. I'm a very calm and collected person. It takes a lot for somebody to get me out of character, to get me angry and react to them. Traffic tends to do that to me. Traffic is is the kryptonite to me. People get me out of my character. And I'm working on it. I'm better than I was, but I have a lot of work to do. But other than traffic, it takes a lot for somebody to get under my skin. And I have control over my mind to where I don't take things personally. 4 Agreements, power, again, great book. But one of the agreements is do not take things personally. If you want to have peace in your life, you have to be able to control yourself, control your reaction to others, what others say, to what others do, and not give them power over your emotions, not let them get you angry, get you out of character because of what they said or because of what they did. And, I'm lucky to be able to control myself in that manner. So I have control again over most of my mind. Fear, it's hard to get me scared, even when the kids, there's been a couple times where they've been choking and it's been one of the scariest moments in my life, but I didn't panic like, my wife panicked and started crying and I don't know what to do kind of thing. And it's like, dude, you have to control yourself in the midst of that. That's when you have to compose yourself and help the kid get out of the, if you get scared, you're going to scare them more. And that's exactly what happens most of the time when my wife reacts that way. It's like they get scared, now they cry more, now they're losing their mind because she's losing her mind. And so it's people, we feed off of each other. But, again, control of the mind. I have, for the most part, control, but there's parts of my mind that I don't have control over. There's parts of myself that I don't, from food, eating. What I eat is one of the biggest ones. I just finished a 40-day fast, Daniel fast I didn't eat anything processed. And I did this mainly, well, multiple reasons, but the main ones was to be able to know that I can control my mind, control myself to when it comes to what I eat. When it comes to, well, not to what I eat. Let me go back on that. Let me rephrase that. The main reason why I did it was for personal reasons. I wanted to, well, not spiritual reasons. I wanted to hear from God more. I wanted to hear from God clearly. I wanted God to speak to me and show me what it is He wants me to do. Now, it's a huge void in my life, and I don't know what that void is, but I feel it. And God speaks to me through other people, through our church, through videos that I watch, through music, and through my own mind, through dreams, He speaks to me in multiple ways. And I don't hear Him as loud as I want to hear Him. I don't see Him as clear as I want to hear Him. And I ask God, please show me what it is You want me to do. Show me where it is You want me to go. Show me, Father, what it is You want me to do. And He tells me, He whispers, and I hear it, but it's not loud. It's not like a radical experience to where the Holy Spirit gets a hold of me and I just have a strong, powerful vision and I know for a fact what it is He's calling me to do, kind of thing. And I've met people who have had those type of experiences, and I guess I want that for myself, just to have clarity. For me, it's God, if You show me, Father, I will lay it all at Your feet. I will go with everything that I have. I will be bold. I will go all out if I know for a fact this is what You want me to do. But because I don't know for a fact, and there's still a doubt in my mind, and I still have all of these different options that I can go with, I don't know where it is You want me to focus. I'm kind of constantly in a circle, going around and around, and not being able to figure out what it is that He wants me to do, what it is that I should be doing with my life. And again, so I started fasting, and I said, you know what, I've been wanting to fast, and my birthday's coming up. It was coming up in like 2 months, so I started fasting a little bit before, broke it, and 40 days I did. Okay, I have 30 days. I was gonna do it for 30 days, and then I pushed it to 40, and I ended the fast on my birthday. But it was tough. It was tough. Again, I went the first 3-4 days. I did 4 days full with nothing, no food, zero food. The longest I had done was 3 days. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do at least 5 days. 4 days is when I felt I caved in, I guess, I feel lightheaded, I feel dizzy, I feel a little weak. And yes, I did feel those things. But again, the body is very powerful and it can do a lot of things if we allow it. But sometimes out of fear and other people's opinions, oh, dude, you're going to get sick if you go. So again, but I broke my fast at day 5. I did 4 days, well, almost on the 5th day. I did a smoothie. I did my smoothie, protein powder, my greens powder, started drinking a smoothie. So I did that for the next few days, just nothing but 2 smoothies a day. And then about day 10, I started eating salads. I did a quinoa salad and just fresh salads, no dressing, just lime juice, a little bit of salt and pepper. But yeah, now I'm going into my fast. I'm talking all about my fast. And now this video is starting to go in multiple directions. And again, I am bound by this idea of I have to be specific. I have to have one specific point that I talk about. I'll have to keep it short, keep it concise. And yes, all these things are true if you want to keep people engaged and keep them watching. You want to keep things concise to one point around, talk about one main specific thing in a short amount of time. Keep the video short, within 3 to 5 minutes, no longer than 5. And that's ideal. That's ideal. But right now I have too much in my head and I need to get it out. And again, how do I do it? Do I do a YouTube? Do I do Instagram, podcast? I want to get it on as many platforms as I can. But right now I need to focus on YouTube. YouTube has to be my main one. I need to record it on my phone. Again, do short edits, put it on YouTube. Then from YouTube, pull it out and put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook. Probably do reels. And drive people again to take action. And my action right now, not right now, my biggest action is going to be, and this is what's my biggest question is, Father, what? God, show me what it is. What do you want me to do? What it is You want me to do? Preach His word to the nation. evidence is what he wants me to do. Preach his word to the lost. Preach his word to his people. And not only his word, but preach freedom and liberation to people. And again, most people don't want to hear the spiritual side. Most people don't want to hear the Bible side of breaking free, breaking the chains of guilt, of shame, of regret, breaking the chains of fear, of worry, of anxiety, breaking the chains of pain, of lust, of addictions, break just all of these things that hold us captive to our own lives. But not only preaching his word through the Bible, and the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, God himself, but preaching the word through critical thinking and analyzing things and going based on what you can prove. And again, Napoleon Hill is the best at it. He was the founder of personal development. He's like, till this day, this guy was a legend, still is a legend, will forever be a legend. Napoleon Hill, by far one of the best thinkers there has been, and he interviewed some of the best thinkers. So all his work is based on research he did and interviews he did on other people. But again, the mind, taking control of the mind. I'm gonna help preach the word of God to take control of the Spirit, to allow the Holy Spirit to work through you and in you, and to open up the door to the Spirit. A lot of us are lost with religion and what we believe, what we don't believe in God, the universe, Allah, Muhammad. We're lost when it comes to spiritual, in the spiritual realm of what we believe, what our beliefs are. But when it comes to the mind, there's hard proof, hard evidence on habit patterns, how to break them, how to start them, how to form one, all of these things you can quantify, you can calculate. The mind you can't. The Spirit you cannot. The Spirit will require faith. The mind doesn't require faith. The mind requires a logical thinking mind, okay, and putting things together and weighing the evidence out. Does your result, is it based on the evidence? Is whatever you're choosing to believe or do, is it based on the evidence, or are you just listening to someone else and saying, well, that sounds kind of like true. Okay, he put some good points out there and he had some good evidence, so I'm going to believe that because there's some evidence there. Or is it something you thought about, something you weighed out, something you did your research on, and you found evidence on this side and on this side? Now you can decide, which one am I going to choose, because there's evidence on both sides. There are studies that show both sides are true. Which one am I going to believe? That's what you're going to have to ask yourself, and that's what I want to help you do. And again, through reading, books have changed my life. I hated reading all through high school. I learned to love to read when I was in college, and late in my years in college. Early in college, again, I was still in my high school habits. I don't like reading. I don't like research. I don't like tests. I don't like. But when my late years in college, again, personal development is what got me interested in reading, what got me into enjoying reading. So when I started reading personal development books, but if you don't like to read, audiobooks are going to be your best friend, and they're a great form to get information. And for me, reading is best. Highlighting, when I highlight stuff, it just stands out more. It's just there. For some people, listening to it, and my buddy, he was not autistic, but he had ADD and ADHD, and reading wasn't his thing. But audiobooks, he's like, dude, I love it. I retain most of what I hear. It's like his mind works different than mine. He can retain most of the book and damn near repeat everything the book said. And I'm like, dude, I can't do what he can do. So again, if you're good reading, you're good at listening, choose which one's best for you. Same thing with sharing. If you're good with writing, you start a blog. If you're good with video, if you're comfortable with being in front of a camera, do YouTube. That's going to be the best one. People can relate to you most when they can actually see you and not just hear you. So YouTube will be the best one if you can work your way up to being comfortable. You're not going to be comfortable at first, and even when you feel comfortable, I say I feel comfortable, but I'm still, sometimes I get nervous, especially going live. It's like, what are people going to say? What are people going to think? Whatever do I look, my beard, my hair? So again, what are you comfortable with? Video, a blog, writing. If you're like writing, then start a blog. If you like just talking, a podcast. If you don't like any of the above, you have the doodles. You can doodle, and I'm sure you've seen those marketing videos with the doodlers. You can do that, doodle whatever it is you want to share, but start sharing with people. And that's going to be my biggest thing right now, is share. Like you can see, my computer just want to sleep on me. I was supposed to be working right now. But, luckily, the way my job works, I can work throughout the day at different hours, at nighttime, meaning early in the morning. So, but how do I win the war in my mind? How do I win the war going on in my head? That's the question we all should be asking ourselves. And there are many different answers to this question. How do you win? First of all, you have to recognize what is going on in your mind. What war do you have going on? What are you fighting against right now? What habits do you have that you don't like, that you're trying to break, but you just can't break them no matter what you do? You start there recognizing, okay, I have a drinking problem. I have a smoking problem. I have an addiction problem with this. I have an addiction problem with that. I have a social problem where I feel uncomfortable in when I'm around other people. Whatever it is that the habits that you have, okay, now figure out, okay, what are my habits? What are my addictions? And then you put those down, write them down on paper. If you do it on your phone, I mean, that works too, but on paper, it's something about paper, it works better. So write it all down. These are my habits. These are my addictions. This is what I do. And now say, okay, what am I fighting? What's going on in my head? What am I fighting against? What are my fears? What are my worries? What are my frustrations? What keeps me up at night? Write these things down. Now you have something on paper. You know, most of us, we know what we don't like. If I ask you, hey, what do you love doing? What do you truly enjoy doing? Most people, we don't really know. We'll know one or two things, but more, like, we have to think about it. I don't know. I mean, I like this, but if you ask somebody, what do you hate? What do you not like? Oh man, we're good at. I hate traffic. I hate this. I hate grocery stores, the lines. I hate that. I don't like all of this stuff. We know what we don't like, but we don't really know what we like. And again, this book talks about what's the mind focus on, what occupies most of your thoughts. And this is a powerful, powerful concept. And again, read the book, Outwitting the Devil. This book is powerful. And it talks about your thoughts, what runs your mind, what's your mind constantly thinking about, what's constantly in there. So again, how do I win this war? First, figure out what's going on in there. What am I fighting against? What am I struggling with? And then, how can I break this habit? That's the next $1 million question that I'm figuring. Well, I mean, most of us have the answers to these questions, yet we need confirmation from others. We need like somebody else to tell, oh, do they work for me? So it's good, and even if we see, I've read all this stuff. I've seen testimonies of people who broke habits, who did this is how they did it. And I see how it's done, yet something in the back of my mind, like, well, I don't really know how to do it. So again, putting it down on paper, figuring out what it is, and then creating a plan to get me from here to there. This is where I lack a lot. This is where the last 10 years of my life, I've been a very driven person. I'm always going. I'm a go-getter, I'm always going, doing something. I'm looking for something to do. I want to feel productive. I want to get things done. But, a lot of times I don't draw out a plan to get me from A to B. I can't tell you how many businesses I've started, how many people I started helping, how many things I've started and didn't give it my all, didn't give it my focus, didn't give it my full attention because I was spreading myself so thin, doing this, doing that, doing the other, helping this guy, helping that guy, do all of these things. And I didn't have a plan. I didn't draw out a plan. Okay, I'm going to go from here. These are the steps to get there. I see it. I'm good at, I see the vision. Let's go. I'm diving in and I'm going hard, and I tire out because I don't have a plan. I don't have a system in place. So again, drawing out that plan and again, breaking it down and doing it one step at a time. If you're trying to break a habit, especially if it's multiple habits you're trying to put into place, you have to start with one. And that's where I've been failing again and again and again, because I'm trying to put all these different habits into place and I fail. And I'm like, dude, why can't you just do this one little thing and this other and this? And so because it's multiple of them. It's not just one little thing. It's not just one wake up and do this one little thing. It's like I have to wake up, do this, and then do this, and then do this, and then I have this whole list of things that I'm trying to start doing, and I fail at it again and again and again. But again, it's having a plan. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this best. Again, I need to stop with the excuses, stop with the justifications, stop with why I can't and I don't know how, and with the video being the biggest one. And like right now, everything me wants to stop talking and just, you know, now I have a 35-minute video that I have to go through and sift through and break into different parts and edit and do this and that, and just my head's already getting overwhelmed. I need to stop that though. I need to get my information out there as best as I can, as much as I can, and start sharing with others. Start doing, not just talking about it, not just recording and having dozens and dozens and dozens of videos on my phone, yet I don't upload them. And then months go by, and then I look back and I'm like, oh, that's not good enough. It's a pretty bad video. Like, I'm not that good on that one, or I said it. Just justifying in the mind why I shouldn't do it. But I'm gonna leave you with this on this first one, and then it's already 35 minutes. I don't want to keep it too long. Read this book. And honestly, I would probably read Napoleon Hill's before I read this one, but I'm gonna stick to these three right now. These are going to be the main books that I focus on, that I break down, and that I start sharing with people. I'm going to start with Think and Grow Rich. That's a powerful, powerful book. I'm going to start from chapter 1. I'm going to start sharing every day. I'm going to share a small little thing about that book that I'm getting. And again, I'm going to go from that one, and then I'm going to go to this one, and then Outwitting the Devil. And these three books, again, powerful, powerful books. If you want to break a habit, if you want to start a new habit, if you want to take control of your mind, you first have to figure out, how can I do it? And reading is going to be your best friend, because you're going to gain knowledge from others who have done it already, who have done research and studied other people and interviewed other people and got testimonials from other people and used what other people did to help them do the same thing. And now you can use what they did to help you do the same thing. But it has to start with you wanting to do it, acknowledging that you need help with it, and then going out and acquiring the knowledge and then putting it to use. That's going to be the biggest one. Not just filling yourself up with all these books on how to win the mind and how to control the mind and NLP and all this stuff about the mind. There's tons and tons and tons of books. There's a lot of knowledge and information out there, but you need to start applying what you learn. You have to keep it simple. Keep it simple, keep it simple. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it simple and make it the simplest way for myself, and then help you do the same thing. So I'll leave you with that. I'm going to start sharing a lot. I have a lot coming here, and then today and tomorrow, like, it's time. It is time. So I'll leave you with that, and yeah, I'll be on the next one.